care. I want universal health care, and I want a president that is going to stop the wars. I don't care about this anti-vax, pro-Israel bombing innocent civilians guy over here who's probably going to lose. He's going to lose.
I guess the frustrating thing for me oftentimes is the issues that RFK is different than your standard Democrat on are so consequential.
To me, yes.
No.
To me, I think that the things that he differs from the average Democratic politician on, I think are so important. I don't want a president that is telling people not to take vaccines.
Okay, stop.
I'm not comfortable with that.
We're going to have this argument right now. When did he say don't take vaccines?
His entire career, Elliot.
What did he say specifically?
He says that all the vaccines are not safe. I've heard him say it 1,000 times.
Have you actually checked his notes?
Yes.
Okay.
I've checked them.
I want
Elliot.
We're going to have the argument. No. We're going to have the argument. Okay. You tell me why vaccines are safe.
Do you have polio?
No.
Do you have the mumps? Do you have measles?
Nope, I do not.
You know why?
Yeah.
It's because the vaccines that have been implemented in the country largely have protected us from those diseases.
Let me ask you a different question.
Okay.
Why is cancer so hot right now? Why do so many people have cancer?
Why do people have cancer?
Why? No. Wait. Hold on. Don't put words in my mouth. Why?
You just said why so many people have cancer.
Why do so many cancer is way bigger a problem now than it has ever been?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because it's a disease. I mean, I'm not a doctor.
See, I know.
And I guess that's the difference between me and you. See, what you do is you pretend that RFK is a doctor and say, RFK said that all the vaccines aren't working, and so you're saying that people have you're implying that cancer is big because people are taking the vaccines, right?
I'm not implying anything.
Okay, what are you implying?
This is kind of the problem.
How do people have cancer connected to getting a COVID shot? How is that connected?
Here's the problem.
Why'd you even bring that up?
I'll tell you if you actually let me answer any of the questions you're asking.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
The reason that those things are connected is because we have a government who refuses to allow anyone to study the answer to that question. Now, what my frustration with...
Study what?
Hold on.
Study what?
I let you talk.
No, study what? I need to know.
I'm going to answer the question, but you got to actually let me speak in the way that I'm speaking.
I just need you to be clear.
I'm going to be clear.
Refuses to allow people to study what?
They refuse to allow people to study why is there so much cancer right now. Now wait, hold on.
I didn't say anything.
There was a guy named Dr. Sebi a bunch of years ago who had all of this documentation about how a lot of cancer is specifically caused by diet and is specifically caused by carcinogens in our environment. And he said, if you change your diet, a lot of times you can cure a lot of cancers that you have. Because,
I don't agree with that.
Because specifically, a lot of cancers are caused by things that are in the food.
Yeah.
Do you know that the NIH will not allow anyone to study if the things in the food are causing cancer?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they let people study that, Aaron?
Do you know why?
I'm asking.
Because they are purchased by the Food and Drug Administration.
So now.
Food and drug industry.
So now. We're going to go back to where we started, which is, of the people who are running for the election right now, only one of them says, hey, it's kind of a problem that our Food and Drug Administration is bought and owned by the people they're supposed to be regulating. Who else is saying that?
No one. Well, not in the presidential race.
Okay.
Other people are.
So let me, for the people, let me try and explain to you why I think everything you say, it makes no sense. It doesn't logically track to me when it comes to RFK. I am not a single issue voter. Okay?
Right. Neither am I.
The reason that I think RFK is better than voting for Biden is because if we get an RFK and he does one thing in his administration, just one, and he goes to the NIH and says, we're not doing any more studying of biological weapons or viruses. We're going to give that a break. We are specifically and only going to study what is in our food and why is it making people sick, what is in our water and why is it making people sick. If he did that, the information that we would get would have to fundamentally change the way corporations operate in our country because they would be forced to admit that they are systematically poisoning people collaboratively so that they can all make money.
Okay.
That will cause all of these other systems to immediately fail. Insurance will have to be restructured because you cannot have insurance companies who have been colluding with food companies and Medicare companies and drug companies to continue to keep people sick if it's exposed that they're all in on it. You just can't do that because people will just say, you know what? I'm just not going to buy General Mills. I'm not going to buy XYZ because the government actually did some studies and they're telling us that their food is poison. I need to get food from my local farmer's market, or I need to get food from the guy who has a food garden, who's just selling tomatoes that he's growing with no pesticides and no weird stuff in the food, and it's a tomato. He grew the tomato from a tomato seed, and now he's handing me a tomato. There's nothing else in it. When you allow the government to do the bare bones things that we actually want the government to do, which is study problems that other people don't have the time or money to study, you will find all of these other huge systems of oppression just don't have the momentum to keep themselves afloat. That's why we have to keep bailing out the banks. That's why we have to keep bailing out all of these huge companies, because they're only built on momentum and nothing else. I'm saying if we know the Democrats, as they are configured right now, are terrible and they don't work, and we know the Republicans, for all the reasons you have outlined, are the real boogeyman that the Democrats are making them out to be, if you vote for the other guy, who at least will put a monkey wrench in that system for 4 years, let's say you just encourage people, listen, at this point, we kind of hate both options anyway, so why not vote for RFK? Now, I'm going to put a pin in that and say, the reason we vote for RFK is not because we like RFK. It's the same reason why I wouldn't vote for Hillary Clinton. I didn't vote for Jill Stein because I like Jill Stein that much. I think Jill Stein makes a lot of good points. I think she has a lot of good policies, but I also do not see her as a very good leader. She has a lot of internal strife in every campaign she's ever run. Yeah. She has a lot of internal strife in her party because I don't think she inspires the kind of leadership that you actually need in a president. RFK does, for good or for ill. The people who listen to him speak actually believe the things he's saying. He is compelling, even with his jacked up voice. His voice sounds horrible, okay? But if you listen to the words he's speaking, if you actually listen to the speeches that he gives, the words, if you turn the sound off and just read the subtitles of a speech that he gives, you will, no, seriously, you really should do that. Like,
his voice is horrible.
If his voice really is like the
but
thing.
My point is.
Yeah. So what I just said,
so I don't disagree with most of what you're saying. I don't disagree with that. I actually think that those are good things.
Okay.
It's hard for me to believe that he's actually going to do any of that.
Can I ask you why? What about his history and his story makes you think that he wouldn't go to the government and change it in just that way? Like, let's say he doesn't do anything else the whole time he's president.
I don't know.
He has specific control over the NIH. Over the NIH.
I think, and maybe it's because I've been black-pilled so hard.
I think that's the problem. But yes, keep talking.
That I recognize that the government's not going to do anything. And I think of, like, let's even talk about Trump. Trump came in, had all this nonsense.
Can I have you qualify something before you talk about Trump? When you say the government's not going to do anything, what do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is the power structures are not going to allow for him to do that. That's what I mean. Now, do I think I wish we could just like take the good parts out of these idiots and make a super candidate that would do something about that, and then we could have like Biden do like the student loan forgiveness, and like all the candidates are just so bad. But they're so bad. I view RFK and Trump and Biden as bad. Just because this dude, man,
I need you to.
My biggest issue in this election, for real, is all of the things that I want out of a president, I get out of none of them. Right? 2, you have the whole issue with Israel, and I know for a fact that Trump will be worse than Biden, and RFK, in my personal opinion, will be either equal to Biden or worse.
Okay.
And so then with the issues that I actually care about, like, yes, do I think that the health and the food is a problem? Of course it is.
So, my question is about pragmatism now. I can't believe I'm in this position, but how do you get... No, it's obviously not, because you're not thinking about...
I just don't think that... I don't think that RFK is going to have the political capital to make the changes that you're suggesting.
What changes...
I feel like...
What political capital does he need to change with NIH studies? That's what I'm asking you.
I'm not saying he's not going to be able to change what they study.
No, okay.
But what I'm saying is, okay, they put the study out.
Yes.
You think Congress is going to just allow...
No, of course
RFK to just make changes to the standards of what the food is? No, they're going to literally take...
How can they stop it?
Because they're going to do the same thing they're doing right now with the airlines. Biden put out that rule saying that airlines have to refund you if they delay your flight by a certain amount of money. And Congress right now is trying to pass a bill
What happened to that bill when they tried to pass it with all the boys building it?
No, it hasn't finished.
They
just started it like 3 weeks ago. Hold on,
because that bill has had 3 iterations that were released publicly, and they had to roll them back because they were so egregiously written.
No, so that's my point.
Okay, wait,
that's my
hold on.
Point.
So what I want to talk about right now is you.
We gotta wrap this up.
I'm sure. I mean,
I know we've been going for a long time.
No, not that long. You'll be all right. You are letting your disappointment in the 2 times that Bernie lost, and your disappointment with how atrocious Biden has turned out to be, you are letting that kind of blackpill you into.
No, I'm
no wait.
Let
me finish my sentence.
No, I'm saying
finish my sentence.
No, I'm saying
let me finish. Hold on. You're interrupting the middle of a sentence, and it's really important that you let me finish.
I think that you're connecting.
You don't
my
even
disappointment
understand
with
what I'm saying.
No,
so you can't say I'm connecting anything.
No, you just said. You
started to talk in the middle of a sentence. I'm not going to let you finish another statement.
What you're saying is not true.
No, it doesn't matter. You don't know if it's true because you didn't let me finish the sentence.
If
I say it's dark outside at night and you stop me at it's dark outside and say it's not dark outside, the sun's out. You don't know what I was going to say.
That's not what you said.
You don't know what I'm going to say. So you're going to let me finish the sentence? Okay, thank you.
Say what you got to say.
It would have been so much faster.
Okay, just say it. What are you saying? Jesus Christ.
You have let yourself be blackpilled into saying that there is no solution that gets me from where we are to where we need to be. Wait!
I didn't even say anything.
Because you were preparing to say
something. No, I wasn't.
All right. I'm asking you, if you don't like what Biden is doing, and you know Trump is going to be worse, there is no path that voting for Biden provides you that will get you from how bad Biden is to somebody who's better than Biden. There's zero path. I'm saying I'm laying out specifically and articulately a path that voting for RFK will get you from where we are to a place where you want to be. Now, I understand that in your mind, you're like, well, I mean, he's not going to get anything substantial done. And I can understand if he loses. That's not what I'm saying. Okay. If you're convinced that he is going to lose, there's zero chance of him winning.
That's also not what I'm saying. I don't think that he's going to win.
If you don't think that there's zero chance of him winning, I'm asking you, what do you personally lose for voting for him?
What I'm specifically saying is, 1, the issues that are important to me, he does not support. Now, the whole thing about
who supports the issues that are important to you?
Oh, none of them do.
So why is voting for him? What do you lose by voting for him?
He's literally polling in 3rd place. So why would I vote for the guy that's literally losing?
Biden is polling in 2nd place, and by a lot. What do you lose by voting for him?
He's not polling in 3rd place, 2nd place by a lot.
It's 10 points.
No,
in
the combination. No, in the combination of the polls. In the combination of the polls,
it's 10 points on average. What are you talking about?
Okay,
he's losing by 10 points on average on the RCP right now.
Not on average. No,
yes, on average.
Because in some of the polls he's up.
No, in some of the polls he's up by 1%.
That's what I'm saying.
And in some of the polls he's down by 13%.
Yes. So
the average of that would be something like 10%.
No, that's not the average. In the average, they're basically neck and neck right now.
No, on the average, when RFK is included, Biden loses handily, consistently.
My point is,
and RFK is going to be on the ballot in those places.
If I'm going to vote 3rd party, I need a person that is 3rd party that has policies that I agree with. Okay. I don't agree with RFK's policies.
I just want to say to the people, this opinion right here is trash.
He's literally telling me that because I don't agree with RFK's policies,
that's not
my opinion is trash.
No, that's not my point.
He doesn't support universal health care. He doesn't support universal free college. He doesn't support forgiving student loan debt. He doesn't support ending the war in Israel. Like, what are you talking about? Why would I vote for him?
You want an answer to the question?
He's literally a corporate Democrat.
You don't want an answer to the question. Okay.
No, I'm saying.
Do you want an answer to the question?
Okay.
You ask a lot of rhetorical questions. I just want to make sure I'm answering them if you want an answer.
Why would I vote for him? Because I don't see a reason. Go ahead.
Because right now, the narrative is a 3rd party can't win. So now, if we can just shift the narrative a little bit from a 3rd party can't win to a 3rd party can win, but only if they got, like the kind of racist whites on their side and the people who hate government on their side and all these extraneous factors. Okay, so now, well, a 3rd party can win if they're popular. So maybe we get a Bernie Sanders style person who's saying all the right things. And you can't say now a 3rd party can't win anymore because RFK won and he was doing like regular Democrat stuff, but he still won as a 3rd party. So now we just got to find somebody. Okay, but again, he is not. What you're failing to understand is outside of the vaccine issue, which I actually think you are just painfully uninformed about what he's actually saying on the vaccine issue, and I can't get you to see it because a lot of times when you talk about vaccines, just so that people understand, the reason RFK says that vaccines are not safe is not because he thinks, oh, if you take a vaccine, you're going to die. Though that has happened to some people. He's saying that they're not safe because in order to declare something safe, you have to have placebo-controlled trials where you can test it on large populations of people, and then you study those people over a long period of time to see what all of the outliers and all of the effects of whatever medical intervention you introduce to that person is.
What would be crazy is...
Wait.
What would be crazy
Let me finish the explanation because it's really important.
Okay.
If you don't do that, when you administer large numbers of medical interventions to people, over time, you don't actually know what things are happening, why. So if somebody is injured, let's say from mesothelioma, and you don't know what caused it, it's really hard to say, oh, well, it was asbestos, unless you have a large cohort of people who you've tested and said, hey, these people were exposed to this thing at this period of time, and we've been tracking it over a really long time, and we can point all of these people who have this specific issue, they all come back to this one point where they're exposed to this specific thing. If you're not doing that with vaccines, in general, or at all, then you can't say that they're safe. That doesn't mean that they're not like something that we should use. That doesn't mean that they're not something that people should be allowed to access and have if they choose to, but they need to be consulted and told, hey, these are the risks of the thing that you're taking. One of the things that
my whole issue with that is, one, when it came to COVID and the COVID vaccines, while he was trying to get people to not take it, we did not have time. We did not have, that's literally one of the best things that Trump did. False. One of the only things Trump did was getting the vaccine out, because now, even though Trump assured that we had the vaccine, then he didn't want people to take it. It was so
Here's the thing.
Well, no. Trump wanted people to take it. The Republicans didn't. But the fact that we are living in a relatively post-COVID world is because of the vaccine.
Again.
But,
no,
like,
hold on.
No, I'm going to finish what I'm saying. And then my whole thing with,
what you're
RFK...
saying is wrong. That's my word. What you're saying is wrong.
Which part?
All of it, actually.
We're not living in a relatively post-COVID world?
We're not.
What are you talking about?
I mean, do you actually want to know?
Can we not go outside anymore?
Of course.
Or do you not remember being locked in the house?
Do you want an actual answer to any of these questions you're asking?
You're saying that the vaccine had nothing to do with that.
I am actually saying the vaccine had nothing to do
You're
with
insane.
Well,
like,
here's the problem, okay? If you
how am I supposed to have this conversation with you?
Because you have to arm yourself with the information that I have, and
because
then
at the point that why weren't we living in a post-COVID world before the vaccine?
Because where did COVID come from? That's the first question.
It probably came from the China thing.
No, not probably. It absolutely.
Well, I don't know because I wasn't there.
Okay. See, this is the difference between you and me. See, I wanted a real answer to this question.
Yes,
so I started.
You got online and you
listening
looked at a bunch of videos
to
just like I did.
People who were talking about this in depth and in detail.
You know that I think it came from there. I'm just saying. Okay. I wasn't there.
And I'm saying I don't have to be there to say with some considerable certainty that there are spike proteins that you only get when you bioengineer something on the COVID virus. The proximity of a biosafety.
You and I don't disagree.
Okay, so I can say with pretty high certainty that COVID was created in a lab. It was created in a lab through a program that Dr. Fauci specifically bypassed.
What does that have to do with
anything? If you let me finish, I'll tell you. He bypassed a bunch of safety mechanisms to get this virus worked on. Then, right after the virus escaped, they bypassed a bunch of safety mechanisms to get a mRNA vaccine passed. mRNA vaccines were outlawed prior to Operation Warp Speed because the technology itself was not tested. The reason that the technology needed to be tested is because mRNA is just DNA that has been broken down chemically by a process. If you do not break down all the DNA, then you have rogue DNA that runs through your body and can cause all sorts of weird problems.
Okay. I can't take it anymore.
I understand.
So look, this is what we're going to do, okay? Elliot took the vaccine.
I
took the vaccine.
We did.
Neither one of us died.
True.
Everyone in our entire family took the vaccine. None of us died of the vaccine.
That is also
true.
But
Elliot is trying to convince us that taking the vaccine was the problem. I don't understand how that happens, but what can you do? But we don't have the measles. We don't have mumps. We don't have polio because vaccines work. I'm not saying they all work all the time, but I don't think it's safe to have a leader who is trying to convince a large percentage of the population that taking medicine that doctors and scientists have said, hey, we have worked on this and this works, and then it has been proven to work.
Can I ask you a
question?
You
shouldn't take it. I think that's dangerous. Because if we didn't have the vaccine, we would still all be locked inside, and we would still all be scared of dying every week. It's crazy.
Can I ask you a serious question?
Okay, what? This is the last question, by the way.
When all the doctors were saying that smoking was good for you.
Yeah, they were lying.
Okay.
But we have proof that they were lying. There was proof then. They were sued because at the time, they had scientific evidence that people were getting lung cancer specifically from smoking.
Okay.
Where's the proof that you got the COVID vaccine and you're dying of that?
Do you actually want the proof?
Yeah.
Okay. I have sent you several videos by a doctor. His name is Dr. John Campbell.
Yeah.
And
where one out of like 75,000 people got sick of the vaccine, right?
Yes. Do you know how many people 1 in 75,000 people on the planet are?
What I'm saying is, Elliot, the percentage.
You're saying that a billion people...
You're nuanced trolling. You're nuanced trolling.
Here's the problem.
Because how much more likely are you to die because you smoke cigarettes every day than a person is that gets the COVID vaccine and then you die?
Do you actually know the answer to that question?
No, I'm asking you.
I don't know the answer to that question. And I'm saying, what you're saying is we don't know the answer and
I'm saying that the COVID vaccine is proven to work, is what I'm saying.
Who proved that?
You proved it.
How?
You took the vaccine.
Yes,
and you didn't die when you got COVID.
Was the point of the COVID vaccine to take it and not die?
No, yes. The point of the COVID vaccine was it was going to take the bite out of COVID. They told us at the time, if you get this vaccine, you still can get COVID. It's just much less likely that you will have as severe a reaction.
When's the last time you had polio? No. Seriously. When did you catch polio?
I didn't have polio.
You know why? Because you took a polio vaccine.
Elliot,
when did you catch mumps?
They were working on those vaccines for much longer.
So it's almost like if you're gonna have a vaccine that you administer to people,
those are not the same thing as a virus that evolves. Yeah. Polio is a disease,
which is why all of the medical people who were trying to call people's attention to the fact that you don't
medical people.
Yeah,
it was medical people that created the vaccine.
That's arguable. But
what are you talking about? I posted the lady. It's a black lady that was basically said to be the mother of the vaccine, if you will. She basically did the main research that created the vaccine. Mm-hmm. What do you mean? What is that? What are you talking about? Because she's not a medical person?
The people who fund vaccines are not medical people. Those are money people.
Those are people that have money, not the scientists and doctors in the lab.
Yeah, and the scientists and doctors in the lab
take money just like everyone else to fund the project.
And there were a lot of people who weren't making any money who were saying, hey, if you release a vaccine in the middle of a pandemic, what happens is that virus has the opportunity to mutate because you're introducing a vaccine when the virus is at its most infectious. That's a really bad idea. According to all of the research,
you're saying that
according to all of the... No,
but at the time,
people were saying it at the time. This is
at the time they were trying to get a grip on the virus.
Again,
and they did,
bro. It's so interesting. The reason that we're having this argument is because I'm saying, hey, the
people should have just kept dying. That would have been better for us. That's what it sounds like you're saying.
That's what you're hearing.
No, that's literally they created the vaccine to try to get a handle on the virus.
I mean, that's what they told you.
No, that's what they did.
No, it's not.
All right.
But again,
I'm done arguing.
I know. I understand. So I'm gonna say my piece because I think it's really important.
Okay.
The problem that I have with the way that you argue about this is you tell me what I'm saying, and then you argue with a statement that I'm not making.
That's called straw manning.
Correct. You constantly straw man the argument that I'm making. I'm not. Because what you'll do is I'll start a sentence, and then you Pierce Morgan me. Okay. You will interrupt me in the middle of my sentence and then tell me what I'm saying. And then I say, that's not even what I'm trying to say. And then we argue about a point that I'm not trying to make for like 5 minutes. And then I try to get back to the original point that I'm actually trying to make. And then you stun lock again and you interrupt me in the middle of a sentence. And then we veer off on another point I'm not trying to make. Because the way we started on this was RFK has never been anti-vax.
Yeah, he's been anti-vax.
Wait a minute. You said you were done arguing. Are you actually done arguing or not?
I'm just stating a fact.
You're
extremely anti-vax.
Here's the problem. For a guy who's anti-vax, he has sued a lot of companies that make vaccines and won. So I need you to I need you to just do me one favor. Before you call this man anti-vax again, because I want you to actually have the correct facts in front of you. I want you to go and look up his case against Monsanto and his case against Pfizer. I just want you to read the briefs on the cases and why he won. That's what I want. I want you to read his...
He won a legal case.
I want you to read...
What does that have to do with the COVID vaccine?
Because the expertise that you get when you have to argue about why this thing that was created was really harmful to people, will give you an understanding of something.
What happened to you when you got your vaccine?
You want the actual answer? I got sick for like 2 days.
They literally, most vaccines you get sick when you first take it.
You know what happened to some other people who took the vaccine? One guy got paralyzed from the waist down.
One guy?
Wait a minute. I'm not done. Several people died of heart attacks.
Okay.
A lot of other people started having heart attacks who were like young and healthy and had no other reason to have a heart attack. Why were so many football players?
Now that we're done talking about the 1%, what happened to the other 99%?
Okay, it's not 99%. Here's the problem. Are you familiar with the VAERS system?
No, yes, I am. That is unregulated by the government, and it was proven that a lot of people were putting fake information in there to make their point.
Proven? Declared?
No. A lot of that information is unregulated. Oh my god.
So here's the
okay. All right.
Again,
I'm not arguing with this.
My problem.
VAERS is literally a system where anyone can just get in there and just type in anything.
That is true.
So how am I supposed to take that seriously? That's not peer reviewed. That's not scientific evidence of anything.
Wait, okay.
It's literally the Wikipedia of medicine.
Don't you use Wikipedia?
No, that's not. You didn't learn in college that that's not a good source.
Actually,
because anyone could just go in there and throw anything in there.
And that was trash opinion then, and it's trash opinion now. The problem with Wikipedia isn't that people can just go in there and throw anything in there.
That's literally not true.
The problem
they changed Mike Bloomberg's Wikipedia to say that he was killed the night he debated.
Yes.
What's her name?
Yes, that's not what the problem with Wikipedia is. The problem with Wikipedia is people will use it instead of reading the baseline sources. So
you talking about VAERS, bro? Like that's like Candace Owens, Tommy Lahren type of debate tactic.
You see how we're doing the thing again? I just want you to notice in this conversation, why did I bring up VAERS?
Because you're trying to make a point with okay.
Ooh, I'm trying to make a point.
Okay, this has been the Pensive podcast, you guys. All right.
Okay, listen.
Y'all have a good one. Seriously. We love you guys.
Hold on.
I'm done arguing with him.
I know you are. I know, and we're gonna close it out. Okay, but seriously, I think it's really important that when we're talking about this, like you genuinely feel like I'm just off the conspiracy train, and I understand why
you definitely are.
You see how I'm not making.
Well, just because I think it's dangerous. I think it's dangerous to try to convince a population of people, including our audience, that they shouldn't take the vaccines that have kept us safe. I think that that's irresponsible, and I think it's dangerous.
Do you think that is the implication of my words, or do you think that is the intent of my words?
No, I think that is the implication of what happens when people of consequence, like RFK, go out there and they try to ambiguously walk around the edges. But basically what they're telling you is, be scared of the vaccines that have been proven to work.
You know what I hear a lot when you talk about RFK? I hear Dad talking about Bernie.
No.
I know you don't feel that way, but that's what I hear. Because when Dad talks about
Elliot, we're ending the show. Okay? We're ending the show.
I know.
We're not going into this again.
I mean, okay. But I think it's really important that you examine your thought pattern here. Because you keep like straw manning me and then suplexing the point I'm not trying to make.
I'm not straw manning you.
You are. Okay. And it's
we'll
kind of crazy.
Camera, but end the show. This has gone too far. It's gone too long.
You sure you don't want to keep going?
No, I'm sure.
Not even for the people?
Okay.
Okay, listen. All right. We're just sad because we haven't been here, and we love you guys, and we're going to make sure we're making you great content. So we're going to be back, and we're going to make sure that it's consistent this time. This has been the Pensive Brothers Podcast. I'm Elliot.
This is Aaron.
And we are out.